Well, welcome to this week's Thursday Thought. This week I just want to follow on a little from what we just thought about on Sunday as we considered the issues of race and racism that are still confronting our society. And I want to do that by thinking about another word that comes up very often in the discussion, and that word is privilege. Privilege. Now, the term white privilege is used sometimes in helpful ways and sometimes in unhelpful ways. It can be helpful to recognise that, yes, I, as a member of a family who's never been discriminated against because of our race, well, that means we've enjoyed certain benefits. My family hasn't been discriminated against, so it's richer than it otherwise would have been. It's enjoyed greater opportunities, all those kinds of things. You know, there are many other forms of privilege too, and all of us have them. Whether they are things that we have got because of our background or things that we've gained ourselves. And I want to think about privilege in that broader sense, because actually the Bible's teaching affects all of those as much as what you might call white privilege. What should we do then with these privileges that we have? Sometimes it almost feels like the only thing we should do with them is feel guilty that we have more than somebody else in some particular realm. But I don't think that will get us very far. I don't think it'll lead to using what God has given to us in the best way. So how should we be seeking to approach the privileges that we have? And I think the Bible's answer is this. We are faithful stewards of what God has given us. That's what we seek to be. Faithful stewards who will sacrificially use the privileges that God has given us. We see that in Jesus' parable of the talents, as it's called in Matthew 25, where he tells of a king going on a long journey who entrusts his money to 3 servants, 5 bags of silver to one servant, 2 bags to another, 1 to another. While he's away, the servant with 5 bags puts that money to work and earns another 5 bags of silver on top. And likewise the servant with 2 bags, but the servant with just 1 bag worries and thinks, well, I'm just going to hide this money so I can give it back to the king, exactly what he gave to me when he returns. And sure enough, that's what he does. And the king is angry with this servant, casts him out and rewards the others, because he hasn't used what the king has entrusted to him. He hasn't used the privileges that he was given. Well, how might that work out in our lives? We'll just think of 3 obvious examples. Maybe you're blessed with the privilege of a home that you love. A garden maybe that you've been enjoying in all this glorious weather we've been having. Is that just for us to create our Englishman's castle, or to create our dream home that me and my family can enjoy? No, we want to open up our homes. God calls us to hospitality, where others can enjoy the blessings that are given to us, where they can experience the love of Jesus. What about the money that we have? What are your priorities with the money that you are privileged to own? It's not yours, it's not mine, it's entrusted to us by our King. My spending priorities can't be about just my hobbies, my holidays, my savings. Sure, all those things have their legitimate place. Am I prepared to give out of the bounty that God has given to me? To build God's church, to serve those in need? Or my time? Maybe you're in a place where you're privileged not to have to work, or not to have to work full time. What are you doing with your time? Is it filled with hobbies and friends? Are you going to use that privilege given to you that others do not enjoy to be able to serve God in unique ways that only you can do? Every single one of us has been given so many privileges by God. The question we must each ask is, what will you do with yours? Let me encourage you to pause and to take some time to reflect now, to answer that question for yourself.